Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, however you're watching, wherever you're watching, however you listen, wherever you listen. It's the Bet Online Salute Detroit podcast, and we got 2/3 here of the Bearded Bandits. Thank you guys all for listening. Thank you guys all for watching, and especially those listening to her on the Mightier 1090. Our man Ryan Dairu, we have a bittersweet week this week, very bittersweet. How are you doing today?
Doing good, my friend. Bummed I missed you guys on the live on Tuesday. Great job running that. Hopefully it was a good time. I'm sure it was, but happy to be with you today. Yeah, commitment yesterday, decommitment today, but a new commitment coming per a Lincoln Riley tweet. So
the
excited to
bat
get all into
signal
it.
is out. I can't flip my hand 360 degrees, but if the bat signal is out, that means we got. What if I do it like this?
I think that works. Works
The
for
bat
me.
signal is out. We got to commit. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Yeah, Hayden Stubs officially decommits. Rumors are he's Hilton Stubs. I'm sorry. What did I say? Dayton.
Hayden. There's a Hayden Lowe on the team. So there's a lot of names.
Hilton Stubs officially decommits. What if I say he's a Trojan by way? Because if he does go to Florida, he'd be coached by Will Harris, who is a Trojan. I actually played with Will. Will's a year older than me. But what if I say that? Does that count a little bit or no?
I mean, I don't know if Trojan fans would agree with you, but, I think that it's good enough. If he had never committed to SC and just straight went to Florida to play with him, then I think some people would get behind that. But the fact that he was here and then now has decommitted, I'm sure not many would feel that way.
If I'm Lincoln Riley and I go back and look at the season and recap the whole season at the end of the year, and the season starts in recruiting, if I go back and look at the whole season from the beginning of the year, I don't think I will accept any March commitments unless they really, really wanted to come to the school. Because it's starting to seem like March commitments are, how do you say it? Okay, so it's like when you want a new job. It's like when you want a raise, but you don't want to leave your job. And then you go out and start putting fillers out and people offer you more money. And you're like, well, this company offered me this much. I think that's what March commitments are. Just my opinion. I think they kind of use it like, well, this is what SC's offering me. What can you do? Oh, we could do better. You know what I mean?
Oh, fair.
The second man could always do better, right? Even the people we're flipping from other schools, we're doing better than what Auburn has to offer. And that scares me because I was listening to the radio this morning, AM 570. Those dudes are kind of funny. LeVar Arrington is on there. I listened to him on the way to work, and he was saying, well, it was LeVar because Brady Quinn wasn't on. It was LeVar Arrington. He was saying NIL is going to create culture problems, right? And we talked about culture problems with the transfer portal, but he's like, I told my son, even though you're getting paid, you need to go where you want to go. The money doesn't matter because you're going to go somewhere and your team is going to be bad. And the best comparison he made, he said the Patriots were not full of superstars, but they were full of great culture.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I think that people who commit in March, not just SC, nationwide, have a higher probability of becoming culture cancers because they're just putting the fillers out to get more money. That's why I say they should not accept March commits unless you really want to come. So if they be like, oh, yeah, well, coach, I want to commit in March. Okay, well, hold on. Let's see how bad you want to commit in March. Now, you still ready to commit? If you're going to commit, we're going to commit. But I don't like the fact that, and it's just my opinion and I'm assuming, but I kind of see it. I don't like the fact that they're using one school to leverage. They're leveraging schools against each other. There it is. It popped to me. It took some time. Yeah. I hear the clown show in the background, and the one guy. We're not going to get political, but I had one of his moments. They're leveraging one school against the other. So I think that's a little. Once again, it goes to ethics, but it's just I don't know. Maybe because I'm a purist, and when I was getting recruited, you really wanted to go to the school, so it's just a culture. It's going to become culture issues with schools, and you have to be a hell of a coach. To put it like this, you have to be one hell of a coach to get the culture right with the way kids are today as far as recruiting. You know what I mean? What are your opinions on Hilton Stubs?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to. I think now when that is talked about, it obviously by a different fan base. So by now USC fan base is going to like really hate on this kid for committing, decommitting. But I mean, this was pretty much from things we heard and just the optics of it. Like this was an NIL play. Like this was absolutely what you're saying, kind of a leverage play. Maybe it wasn't his intention in the beginning. Maybe, when he committed in March, he really loved SC. But then obviously when other schools get wind of it, they're going to come in and people are going to talk. They're going to ask him what they offered you and they're going to come up with a bigger offer. Like, I mean, it's not like that's any secret. So that I think is absolutely what happened. There was definitely, and this has been known, I think, for weeks that he was going to be decommitting. It just today is officially when it came out, but it's been a long time coming that he was gone and not officially committed to Florida, but it's a pretty, not the best kept secret that that's where he will end up, which is his home school and whatnot. So yeah, it's tough, but I think, for SC and to kind of go with your point, but also counter your point, not all they need to fix, but the big thing they need to fix with NIL is just making sure they are competitive. I don't think they always have to be the highest bidder. Like now with this coaching staff and with all that USC and LA has to offer, they just have to be able to structure deals that is competitive. And, if Florida, Auburn wants to outbid and a kid truly is just going to the highest bidder, then so be it. They shouldn't be a USC Trojan. But if they're leaving because USC is offering laughable contracts or stuff that just isn't even competing, which I'm not saying necessarily is the case with Hilton Stubs, but if that's the case, then that's where there needs to be things fixed. And we've talked about, the difference of how contracts can be, stipulated and, with for-profit and non-profit and stuff like that. And so this is ever changing. And I think SC's improving in that regard. But that's just the big thing, because to my knowledge, these three big commits have pretty much all been NIL wise, not coaching related or football program or facility, or it wasn't like Eric Henderson just got beat out recruiting. I think it was, he did his job and then, the vultures came in and could offer more.
Yeah. And
with Stubbs, it was Coach Belk. So Coach Belk has been recruiting his butt off too and doing a great job. So,
I wouldn't so much say vultures because we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I would just say
the nature of the business. Yeah.
Yeah. I would just say that's the nature of the beast now. And like, it's easier to flip a kid now than it was when I was getting recruited, right? To flip a kid when I was getting recruited is like, do I really want to make this change and go to this school and prevent regret? Now it's, they offered you $1 million, we'll give you $3 million. Hey, such and such just offered me $3 million. What can you do? We'll match your $3 million. Oh, I might as well just stay home. You know what I mean? Yeah. So those are the things that you have to worry about. But here's the positive side of it. This is a decommitment of one of the deepest positions on the USC roster right now, right? And we were talking about this before the show, and I completely messed it up. So this class coming in has a bunch of DBs coming in. The next class, the 2025 class, if I'm not mistaken, has one, or is that the one that doesn't have any?
So currently 2 corners. No safeties now with Stubbs, but 2 corners.
So they have 2 corners coming in the 2025 class, and then 2026 has yet to have any commitments yet, if I'm right. Keep me right here.
I think it was mainly Julian Lewis, and then he reclassified. I can't remember who. I mean, they might have a few for 26, but that's so far down the line.
That's so far down the line. But
now we see it's not even worth talking about anymore.
Yeah. But yeah. But like, this is a deep position on their roster. Like, so there's no need to panic, right? I mean, I assume it's money, and that's my only assumption. But like I say, it's time to, like I told Jamal, it's like when you're driving and you get a flat tire. At the moment, it's a panic. But then once you fix the tire and put the spare on, you got to keep going down the road, go fix your tire, and things keep moving. That's my perspective of it. And it's my perspective of it because I've recruited before and I understand how recruiting goes. Like, decommitments is a normal thing. It's just I still believe that it's the stars and how everybody has so much access to it now. So that's just my perspective of it. Like, you just have to keep moving. Like, is it a bad thing? In this situation, no. But for the most part, like, we just got to keep rolling. This is a deep position. So it is what it is. We could have used them, but at the end of the day, I believe we'll be talking about how many of these kids enter the portal because there's just not enough spots for all these kids in today's game. So that's another thing you have to worry about. So yeah, definitely. It is what it is. Let's keep pushing forward and we got the bat signal out and let's just keep on moving forward. You got anything left on Hilton Stubs?
I mean, and this is more bigger picture that it is what it is now. This isn't even USC, but I am, and we've said many times, for NIL overall, for these kids getting paid. But I wish no contracts or NIL could be discussed until the high school player enrolls at the school. I don't like that these are contracts discussed with some of these kids are sophomores still. Yeah. I mean, Julian Lewis is technically entering his junior year of high school because he reclassified. He's graduating a year early. He is at the moment, now it's summer, but he just finished his sophomore year and everyone's talking contracts, money, this. Like, to me, it's like, let them do the recruiting process, choose a school based on what's right for them academically, physically, coaching wise. And then when we're there and they enroll, then you bring in NIL. And if they're not happy with that, then they can transfer in a year. Like, I don't like that this is all happening before they're even in college. That's maybe I'm too much of a purist too. And maybe I don't know, but that's the one aspect that I just
cap it. They just need to cap it. Like I always say, like cap it. Like you can't have an uncapped market and make this the Wild West. And then you have situations like this. But if you know, I'm only getting $125,000 no matter what school I go to. And if I accept money and enter the portal, the next school has to pick up where I left off. If you know that, I guarantee you the whole recruiting and flipping thing and you can't leverage anybody against anybody, that whole thing changes. Guaranteed that changes. So that's just the way it is. And then once revenue share starts happening, once that officially kicks in and takes place, I think these other schools will have a little bit more issues, but that's a conversation for a later day. Positive news, we did get a recruit. Our number one recruiter, I would say.
Yeah.
Our number one recruiter, Julian Lewis, got another one in the books. I'm going to mess his name up. Give me his name, Ryan. I don't want to mess it up.
Well, to my knowledge, Shamar Arnoux. I believe it's French.
Shamar Arnoux. Shamar Arnoux committed 3-star receiver out of
corner.
Sorry, you're right. 3-star corner out of Carrollton, Georgia, where Julian Lewis is from.
Yeah, his teammate. Yeah.
His teammate. I think they're friends. They must be friends if you got him. You know what I mean? If you got him. So that's a big time commit. It's a later commit down the road. And I'm more okay with June commits because now their season's about to kick off and they're a little bit more occupied. Yeah. March, April, May, there's too much free time. Yeah, there's too much free time. They can take a bunch of visits. So I'm a little bit more okay with this commit. His buddy's going to school with him. You give them a little sense of comfort. You know what I mean? So that kind of work. And it kind of happened with the Gibbs and Terry thing. You know, they're kind of buddies and you get a little bit more comfort. But we got another defensive back in that already loaded room. There's not going to be enough room for position meetings sooner or later. So another defensive back, got another one committed. Depth, man. Depth at one of the most important positions. Like when I was thinking about this one too, when you think about this, they throw the ball so much, they're starting to become a rotation at defensive back. And they did it a lot at SC last year. I don't know if DeAnton Lynn does that, but it's one of those things like you need the depth because you could get hurt quick not having a good defensive back to come in just in case somebody else gets injured. So I'm happy with this. 3-star guy, ton of upside, ton of development. Like I said, our top recruiter, Julian Lewis, got him in. So where do you think we go from here? How do you feel about this commitment?
Yeah, I think it's great. You know, he announced at the Rivals event just yesterday. Julian Lewis was at. You know, he announced and Julian Lewis right there gives him the SC gloves. And so I think it's, you know, he was late offered by USC. So kind of a last minute offer almost that SC, I don't know if it was in a sense they knew the Stubbs decommit was coming. So they say, okay, here's an opportunity, a good young kid who is also teammates with Julian. We can make sure to, help solidify his commitment. So I think it was a kind of a double-edged sword thing where they are able to, I don't want to say replace Stubbs. I think Stubbs is a higher quality player right now, also coming as a safety, Shamar as a corner, but, DB is a DB at this point, at this age. So, but replace in terms of positionality. And then you also get a teammate of your number one must-have hang-on prospect. So there's, as you said, their teammates, familiarity. It's like they can finish their senior seasons together at Carleton. Hopefully go win a state title and both end up in SoCal together and have some familiarity there. So I think it was a really smart player to go after. I think I haven't watched a ton of tape on him, but seems like a raw ability that has some good length to him. We'll need to put on probably a little bit of weight, but again, a whole year of high school still to play. So, I think it's a really, really smart addition. And I know people will see the stars and say 3-star, oh, who cares? But he could that can jump to 4 stars. He still has a whole season to play at high school. So, and 3 stars, and still are good for depth and development and whatnot. So, I think it was a great get, a needed get to add to this class. And I think the most important thing, like we keep saying, is, teammate of Julian Lewis. I think that helps. And you could see his excitement that he's committing, gave him the gloves, the SC gloves. And so, that's good to see.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to prove everybody wrong. On July 16th, I'm going to build a team full of 3-star commitments to win the national championship. Just letting you know that.
Do it. Like current or like in the past?
Current. I'm going to take the University of Massachusetts and win a national championship on July 16th.
Oh, in the game?
In the game, yep.
Okay.
And they're independent. They just released the top stadiums. So I'm scheduling all the top 10 teams on my schedule, and I'm going on the road, and I'm going to beat them on the road.
You might as well just be Utah because it's all 3 stars anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Just be Utah.
Utah is a perfect example of why you don't need 5-star athletes. Thank you, Ryan. Where were you the other day?
We brought that up. The problem is Utah's a perfect example, but they're also the example they've never gotten over that hump. Like they're always good. True. They're always smash mouth, but they've never actually been in the playoff because they just can't quite get over the hump. But their problem more is, and this is way off topic, but they don't necessarily lose the big game. They have one boneheaded loss early in the season or something. Like they always start off 0-2 and then put it together. So that's more their problem.
Yeah. And Dan Mullen built his name off of being a 3-star developer. That Ole Miss team that he put on the map, he said it himself was a bunch of 3 stars. So we're off that. So we got some gaps to fill. We got the back signal up. So let's do a little predicting here. You put an article out recently. I'm just going to go off your article. You put an article out. If you want to see that article, go to lafbnetwork.com. And hopefully when we post this, you can put the link down in the post and you can go straight to it down the link. I just made Ryan do that. You like how I just made you do that right now?
Good. Good. Put me to work.
Yeah. So predicting Carday Smith, offensive lineman, committed to Auburn, 6'6", 300. I watched this guy play. This dude can move. This dude's going to be a tackle, and he's going to be a really good tackle. He recently decommitted from Auburn, right? Don't know if it's leverage, but it might be a leverage play. That's why I say can't play vultures, because I think we might have done the same thing. If we get this kid, we offered him more money than Auburn. That guy's out. That's what we're assuming off the bat signal. Corey Sims, wide receiver, 4-star out of Missouri. That's different. A commitment. He took his official visit. He went to Missouri. I don't think Missouri could give up. I don't think Missouri could keep up. Just what I'm thinking. So I think Corey Sims works. Corey Sims is another receiver, build depth. So just good build size. Depth at this. Yep. Big guy. So definitely. These are the ones I'm interested in. Noah, Micah. Oh, it is Mikhail. Okay, Noah Mikhail. Yeah. 6'2", 210. Perfect size linebacker in today's college game. He's going to gain about 20 pounds in his 4 years. Hometown kid. He's out of Laverne. I think that's the kid. Hopefully he committed. That's the kid that we need. I think we need more depth at linebacker, and I think we need more athleticism at linebacker. Don't think we're doing a good job there, just in my opinion, and we could talk about that later down the line. That could be a good August show. Riley Pettijohn, big name out there, 5-star recruit.
Yep.
Where's he from again?
Texas.
Has to compete with Texas. Has to compete with the A&M.
He's that's where he's predicted to go is Texas, obviously. So,
yeah. Hopefully we can get Pettijohn going in there. That's another big guy, athletic linebacker. So, crystal ball, Ryan. Who do you think the bat signal is for?
So, here's I'll break it down all 4. Why I listed those 4. So, Carday Smith, had his official visit just this past week in SC, went great. He immediately decommitted from Auburn days later. I'm thinking this bat signal was for him. I think Cardi Smith is going to be the announcement. I think Corey Sims, personally, on those 2 weekends ago when there was 3 bat signals, but only one name came out, I think he was one of those. I put that actually in an article back then. He's announcing June 30th, so on Sunday. So I feel like he was a verbal then and is going to announce on 30th. I could be wrong on that, but that's just my thought. And then Noah McHale is right now, all the predictions out there have him going to Oregon. I feel like USC is really pushing for him. I think he wants to stay home, go to USC. If USC can get just kind of the NIL right and make it happen, I think he will ultimately choose USC. But I don't think he's on this current bat signal thing. I think that's a future one, hopefully. He also is announcing June 30th, so 3 days to kind of make up his mind, essentially. And then Riley Pettijohn, really, SC's been given no shot. I think most predictions, Texas is in like the top 90% of like landing his commitment. But little by little, SC's kind of creeping up. He was at an event just as past yesterday, rocking an SC shirt or rocking SC gloves. That means nothing.
I saw that. that.
But it doesn't mean anything, but it does mean something, right? It's one of those like subliminal things. So I'm not saying he's going to, but it would not surprise me if he also ends up at some point committing. So, I mean, obviously some big losses for SC over this past 7 days. But if they can get these 4 commitments, that'd be huge. What I'll end by saying is, because I want to try to be consistent, is, if we're going to downplay the decommitments because it's June, I also want to downplay the commitments because it's June. So it'd be great to get some of these kids, but let's wait till the season starts, see how these games go. And then maybe late November, early December, we can start being like, okay, let's really see how this class is rounding out. But it'd be good momentum after some really bad news and press after 3 decommitments if they can get even 2 of these 4 guys to commit.
Definitely. Well, the bat signal's out. Bittersweet week. I think we're ending on a good note with a bat signal, so that's definitely great. Hopefully it announces soon. We'll find out on Sunday who we got. Ryan, I enjoy your time. It's been great. Those of you listening on the Mitre 1090, I appreciate you guys listening. Our fans on the YouTube, keep them coming. I know you guys hate me. Like Ryan Shirt says, hate us because you ain't us. That's all it is. No, I appreciate you guys. Keep listening.
They don't hate you.
I think this month has been our highest viewed month, and I appreciate all you guys for that. So I don't think we've had views like this in a long time. So keep it up. Keep listening. We can't do it without you. Ryan, it's been fun. I'm going to go watch the clown show. Enjoy the rest of your night. I can't
subject myself to that, but have fun.
And enjoy the rest of your night. You guys know how it goes. Live free. Fight on.